wake up. You
need
know,
to get some coffee
it's pretty
or
hard. The
something, old
older
man.
I get, the harder it gets to kind of come out of my coma, my Sunday afternoon coma. How are you doing today, Brant?
I am doing pretty good. It's looking like maybe there's some tornadoes coming in, but if I run out of here real quick, then maybe that's because the wind's blowing too hard. But so
I
far
thought you
it's
were in
been
the
good.
right place, in the stream shed.
Yeah, a shed exactly.
But that's not
Be
the place
blown
to
away
be
like-
for a tornado.
No.
That's
But
what's
yeah,
up,
we're
man.
so far we're right. We're good. It's warm. Like I went from last show, I had a heater blaring in here, and I had an air conditioner on before you came. So welcome to the South. Mother Nature is drunk. You know, it's
Cannot
snow one
make
day
up
and
her
then
mind.
no, it's That's one thing, and I'm sure everybody says that, but I know in the South that's what we are, right? It's like you're either freezing or burning. That's it.
Hey, I love it. I'm in the South.
How
as
about
well.
you?
Brant, man, I'm excellent. I'm really excited about the mega stream today. You know,
I am
it's pretty
too.
cool. If you guys can tell, we are in the countdown. The numbers are right here on the screen. I'm not pointing them right there. We go.
There you go.
The pre-show, we like to just kind of catch up with each other. That being said, Brant, have I told you I'm going to Portugal?
I read your wife's concert list and seen that you were going to Portugal, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
that week
going
I'm
to be a
gonna
lot
have
of
to-
fun.
That week, I'm going to have you call my assistant to talk to me.
Exactly. I did tell you. I said I think it'd be really cool if you came in live from Portugal, even just to say hello. You know,
I think that would be cool, too, if I
'cause
could
you'd be
work
like,
it out.
Pitbull will call you
I'm
Mr.
thinking
Worldwide.
about, I'm getting better with doing a lot of vlogging with my phone. Of course, I have a gimbal and all of that, but I'm really thinking about just because getting the, what's that, Hero 10?
I'm phone's better.
You think
Phone's
the phone is
better.
better? Because it's so small.
Yeah.
You know, you
Nah,
can put it
phone's
out.
better. You always have your phone. You just
I will
whip it out.
always have my phone, and I promise you,
Get the
if you
go
see
get
the
the
footage,
instead of buying. It's time to buy the GoPro. Go buy the MV88, the Shure MV88 Video Plus kit, and you will never need anything again. You might never use another camera again. That is just, I think that's the winning vlog. I've tested them all. It's the winning vlog setup.
that's what's
Trust
up.
me. God, trust me on this.
So I did
But
a lot
that's
of
what I would do.
vlogging. I'm gonna put it in a short, but I did a lot of vlogging when we went to Catalina, and that
Okay.
place is gorgeous off the coast of California, man. It's gorgeous.
Yep.
So now going the other
Yeah,
direction, the place we're gonna stay looks really, really nice. So I'm hoping to get some,
Yeah.
some great.
I've been to
footage from that.
Gibraltar. I've been to Gibraltar at the tip of Spain, and Gibraltar, it's really pretty. I didn't go to Portugal, but the Med and all that area there is just beautiful. You'll love it. You know, I love going to foreign countries. I love going over, especially European countries, because I don't know, they're just. It's really
I told my
cool.
wife
You'll see
that if
new things.
we ever go to Brazil, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, probably not. I had a friend in the Navy that did that. He went to Brazil and he never came back.
He never came back. I just, I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here. She thought it was
That's
quite
true.
funny when I said that, of course.
He'll
So,
probably leave you.
yeah, she'd probably be like, great, stay there. So there's a lot of things that are happening in the news right now. And, of course, everybody is galvanized by what's happening in Ukraine. Our heart goes out to the people of Ukraine and this whole invasion they're having right now. It's just incredible. So as you are, thinking about people and praying for people, please put the people of Ukraine on the list. There's all across the world, all right, there are people that are being displaced because of war, and we want to think about all those people, but because it's so much in the news right now, and it's such a big focus on the invasion, we want to think about those people definitely.
The thing you don't realize, there's so many tech companies that use, that are either out of Ukraine or using workers in Ukraine. So, I'm on LinkedIn. There's a ton of companies, that are. I think one was a video game company. Can't think of the name right now. It was Ubisoft. They actually paid their workers like 2 or 3 months in advance. I mean, they just advanced them all the cash they needed to help get out. So there's a lot of
have my guy Brant, and it's all of us together. This is like cool. I call it the mega stream. You know why I call it the mega stream? Like anybody know why this is the mega stream?
Cause I'm fat.
No, it's not that at all. It's not that at all.
No. Hey, real quick, guys. There's some people saying they have some audio issues. I hear everybody. To me, everybody sounds like they're underwater. So and way behind. So I see some in the comments too. So just let me know if anybody else is having a problem.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Let me do this
Testing.
really quick. Yeah, we gotta test this thing out. You know who? Like we love testing. Like why not, right?
Yeah.
So all I have to do, like inside of Ecamm, I don't like running the monitors because I can hear myself like it's an echo. But now I'm listening, and if I can get you to test your mic, Brant, really quick.
Check, check, check. 1, 2.
Sounds good, Rob.
Test, test, test.
Doc.
Dahil sayo.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
All right.
Thank you so very much, guys, for being a part of the stream show, the
Like that,
Mega
Rob?
Stream.
Yeah, man.
Like you guys
Represent
are awesome. Rob Balasabas, I was actually introduced to you, Rob, from Doc Rock. All right, so
right.
I'm one of the Doc. Do you know I'm like one of the first? I would say 4 or 5 Patreons that you ever had. Like
Yeah,
I
100%.
got on the
You were number
board
2.
with Doc. I was number 2.
You was number 2.
Man, that's crazy.
I could tell you the order. It started out with Tommy, and then it was Strick, and Felicia was right behind you.
That's amazing. You talking about people that I appreciate their leadership when it comes to the networking of content creators in our ecosystem. And I think we just have, like if it was a huge universe, Brant, we have a corner of the universe, but we all kind of mix in together of what's going on. And for me, it started with following Doc Rock, because that led to me meeting Alicia Way, being a part of the Let's Get Live community, and we decided to do Vlogmas. Alicia called me. I called him about Vlogmas. We actually did a review show on Vlogmas. It went for 5 hours one night, and that's where I met Brant Collins. Brant Collins was on the first Let's Break Ecamm stream one night. It was like, I don't know, what, 7 of us?
Oh, I think we made it up to 10.
No, there was a lot more than that.
Yeah. And
everybody
even
said, hey.
Brant was number 8, and I remember that because I was like, I'm gonna get to 10. I'm gonna get to 10. So Brant was like the 8th person in the Patreon. So yeah.
So
Nice.
after
It's kinda crazy.
doing that live, Brant Collins, Alicia Way and myself, we were doing the Let's Get Live Vlogmas reviews. And we would come on every night, and we did like almost 2 weeks straight, every night reviewing it. And Alicia was like, man, I'm tired. So we had some other people come on to do the reviews, Lemuel, Brant Collins, and Kevin Lyons.
Yeah, it was Kevin.
Came in and did it, and I saw Brant do their review was much better than Alicia's and mine. Not because of Alicia, but because of me. I thought those guys did an amazing job reviewing those videos, and I said, man, I want to connect with that Brant Collins guy. He's pretty smart. Like, he's like way smarter than me. So that's how me and Brant actually, that's what put Brant in my eye when we decided to do this particular show, the stream show. And I actually called him because we didn't have a name for the show, guys. And it's so funny. Brant had everything ready. He had the name of the show. He had a website ready to go. And we were ready to actually do this show within 2 weeks of the idea, and it had already been monetized before we did the first show.
Nice.
So that was a lot of history, but that's what got us here. And in the midst of all of that, you know, coming through Doc's Let's Get Live community, and then meeting Rob, and then we were actually live that first series on the Content Marketers Cafe, you know, on Rob's group page. And it's just a big circle of family, support, friends. I am in Rob's community right now, and it is just so much going on. So to have you guys on, Brant, man, have I fanboyed enough? You know about these guys,
Yes.
like for the mega stream. Like everybody in the comments, like if you're feeling me, definitely give some claps for Doc, give some claps for Rod, because these guys are leading the way. There you go, leading the way for all of us when it comes to building communities, networking together, and also building content.
I thought you were
I
going to
just
start
think that-
singing Sly Stone. It's a family affair.
Well, you know, the
I
thing
think
is, I'm
for
not
me,
as
the
good
part
a
that-
singer as you, Doc.
The part that got me was I was flipping through, watching some stuff one day, and we'd met Doc. We're doing all these things and everything, and I'm on Leo Laporte Tech TV. I mean, I've been watching that since '06. I mean, he's the OG. And lo and behold, who's there for the Mac reviews or something? It's Doc Rock, and I'm like texting him like, "What are you doing on Leo Laporte?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal." So that's pretty cool. That's when I was
Really
like,
big deal.
"Dude's legit."
And that being
That's funny.
said, who was it? Definitely, I want to shout out a couple of people that are in the comments. JP High Tech, shouts out to you.
JP.
Melvin Miller, shouts out to you, sir. Thank you for those hand claps. Felicia says, because heavy hitters are in the house, that's why it's a mega stream. And that is the absolute truth. They made me go into my graphics creator mind and come up with a thumbnail that I've never created before for this show. So thank you guys. And Valerie's here. Everybody sounds great. Thanks, Valerie.
What's up, Pinks?
And we have a
It's
lot
funny.
of
Rob
people.
said it's like beards versus shaves, so it's
I know, right?
Beards win.
right. It's over again, Brant.
That being said,
Hey,
let's dive into it, Brant.
Hey, I mean, I think we've got two great guys here. They've been doing this for a long time. I just want to talk about Rob real quick. I know you're wearing the U-Screen hat, and everybody's been asking for swag. Tell us a bit about you transferred from TubeBuddy to U-Screen. How's it going? I know you did the big move. Your family, everything has kind of changed. How are you doing right now?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having me on again, guys. Honored to be here with Doc as well. The move is good. TubeBuddy is amazing. I had a great time there. Learned a bunch about YouTube, about influencer marketing, and joined Uscreen in November. So here we are. I think it's 5 months, 6 months, man, time flies. So, doing some things here behind the scenes with partners, affiliates. That's my jam over here. So, getting to work with a lot of creators as well, continuing that. So that's been really fun and kind of what I enjoy and what I want to do long term. So yeah, man, thanks for asking.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And you're also doing a lot of content, like building your own library of content on your YouTube channel. Tell us your idea behind where you are now in creating content.
The YouTube channel is really for me it's a creative outlet. And also just to understand creators, be a creator myself 2-3 years ago, kind of when I started the channel, growing it now. I think it's like around 7,000 subs. And it's been a fun journey. All the things that you're doing as a creator, but also just connecting with guys like you guys and Doc and all the creators out there, Andrew Can, all the players. So it's been really fun to have that as just a way to understand creators, and I think that's important. When I was a TubeBuddy, I wanted to do that as well, and building revenue streams and understanding the pain points of creators, so that when I'm out here, I felt really weird when I first started in tech to talk about platforms and not know and use the platforms myself. So
Right.
I just like, hey, you gotta walk the walk and you gotta do the thing, and so now I can speak from my own perspective of like, hey, this is how you build, this particular revenue stream. This is how you build AdSense. This is how you build an audience, and take them from YouTube into other platforms. And so, the YouTube channel's been great. It's a testing ground. I do some vlogging. I do tutorials. I do live streams. It's a mix of everything. But at the end of the day, I think it's a community, which I think what we have right here, and all the comments and all the people that show up for you guys. That's what I'm learning is really the key to all the stuff, like the community building and engagement. That's really what's important.
I totally agree about
good.
this, and I missed one point that I want to go back to,
Yeah.
Rob, in the introduction of what we're doing here at the stream show. Like, not only did we go into your community, but Rob,
Yeah.
you were actually on the show. Like, it was the Stream Guys and Rob Balasabas for 10 episodes with the YouTube reviews.
That's right.
Man. Like, you
Two
put
buddy
in
reviews,
a
yeah.
lot of work for
Yeah,
us.
that's
Work
right,
with
that's
us.
right.
And, that was just amazing for us to be able to come up with an idea and network in such a way that we would get somebody your caliber to be a part of the show. And again, I think the one of the reasons why we were able to do that, Brant and I together, we have over 40 years of media experience and the know-how. It was trying to get that into the content creator space. And Doc was leading the way for us to learn some of those things, like teaching, like, from microphones to, like, I watched
Gear.
all of the videos, okay? Like, I watched one of the beginning videos I watched. Doc was just telling people from his perspective how to take notes. If you want to be a writer, just have this kind of notebook and keep it in your pocket. And I thought,
Yep.
some of those practical things that he was giving people to, giving people to help them create, like, simple tools, not all of the buttons and the bells and the whistles of systems, but personal, practical systems that you could use, like how to, like, if you want to come up with what we have now is a 4-cross. He was explaining, Doc, I'm going to set this up and I'll let you finish it. He was explaining how to do your overlays. Just write them down. Like, draw them on the paper first, see if that's what you want, and then you can actually go and create this in different type of ways, whether it's Keynote, and now we are all in on Canva that you can do all this stuff in. I say all in on Canva. You can do all this stuff now in Ecamm. That makes it so easy. So, Doc, I want to tell you this. Thank you so very much for your willingness to show up, like, day in and day. I'm talking 2020, like, it was almost daily, brother, that you were on with content for people, not just your big shows on Saturday, because that's when I really had an opportunity to connect with you. Saturdays in my time, I think it was about 2 p.m. Like, I'm in my office watching Doc Rock, learning stuff, like from learning
What else did
how
you
to present to why he bought a BMW. All that stuff was part of the content. Like, it's important to know. So, Doc, thank you so very much for what you do for the community. And
Thank you.
Man, I'm just so happy to have you with us today.
If I can give anybody a single takeaway from all of what we've all learned over the last couple of years, no matter what you're starting out in, if you can find a way to help people, you're going to win. It just is what it is, right? Like, it's, if you can, and here's the part, like, a lot of people are afraid to put it out there because they think, like, oh, I have to charge for this, or somebody's going to take advantage, or whatever, right? And then remember that night Linwell hit us with the trees not afraid to give them fruit?
Right.
And
Right.
the day we caught that lesson, I was like, oh, I felt that all the way down underneath the toenail beds. Like, it was in there. And then it's funny, but that's sort of what happens. And so I get, because I'm a Mac person from a long time ago, because I used to be a tech writer and stuff like that, a lot of people, they think I'm only going to talk about gear. But we all done seen somebody with a super dope whip that can't drive. So gear is only a part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, from high school, you had a friend that parents was rich, got them the dope whip. They drove out the parking lot from the school and hit a sign.
Right,
you're
right.
like, I'm looking at you, Sean D, one of my homies. he wrecked 3 new Beamers in the course of a week and a half. It was kind of incredible.
shoot.
I don't even know if that's a possible thing, but he did it. So yeah, it's just one of those things, and I wanted to be able to do that. The great part is, though, like you said, what we got as far as community. The community side of it, man, it's funny. I told this on Rob's stream. I say it in my streams. I'll say it again. When you find your purpose, then people will show up. And when they show up, it makes it easier. So I'm going to always repeat, purpose is analgesic. All of them pains you have, and I can't do this and I can't do that. When you have your purpose, you don't even have those thoughts. Those thoughts don't even cross your mind.
Doc,
Right.
can you explain? Can you go into a little bit of depth? One thing that one thing that we know, we're all together. You were you were working a wood shop, you're doing all these different things, you're streaming. Next thing you know, you're working for Ecamm. Tell us how that transaction, how has that been beneficial? You enjoy working at Ecamm, how that all came about.
The advantage of working for Ecamm is cliche AF. If you were doing what you were going to be doing anyway, it's not work. You know, it's kind of funny, right? Everyone says that, and I think a lot of people poo-poo that idea, right? They like, what do you mean? Like, if you was doing whatever, if you going to this thing at this time to this time and you get a paycheck for it, then it's working. I go, yeah, but like, no, it's not. You know how when you first start dating, how there is no such thing as time with you and the person you dating with. Okay, now that y'all both been married over 10 years, I'm gonna ask y'all. I'll ask Kim. I'll ask Kim and them what they think, because it might be different, right? I don't think just is about what Rob over here telling stories, but in the beginning, y'all didn't have no clock. You didn't know what was going on. It was Friday and you was in love, right?
Right.
If you are doing something for your purpose, again, purpose is analgesic. Purpose don't bother your time. Purpose don't mean like I don't have enough time for this. Like none of that stuff matters. And then so because I kept grinding at what I thought was my purpose at the time was making sure all you got what you needed to get done, then the reward came. One day Katie called me up and I found out later as I'm working, in the company, I found out later from Ken like what legit happened. They were growing leaps and bounds. They had already asked me to moderate the communities and stuff like that, and so we were just going away with that stuff. And they're like, oh, before we go to this next launch, like we're gonna need another tech support person, and then we need another person to kind of like help us out, as far as boots on the ground, talking to people, things like that, somebody to kind of run our community. They say, yeah, we need somebody to do for us what Rob does for TubeBuddy, right? And then, legit conversation. And then, so one of the team members, I won't call her out right now, she goes, oh, we need somebody like Doc. And then Glenn said, why don't you just ask Doc?
Right.
And to Brant's point, they're like, oh, but he has his wood shop and his laser business. And Glenn was like, so just ask him anyway. We don't know. The worst thing he can say is no. So I get the call. Yeah. I'm at the shop. I'm looking at an order of like 500 things I need to engrave. No cap. That was the amount. I had cases upon cases. I got boxes up to here. Katie calls, and I'm like, yes. I want to stop doing this. I'm sick of looking at these boxes.
Now.
I'm sick of CNC machine was running all these days. So at first I was going to try to do both. But every time I was at the shop, I'm like, I'd rather be in the community helping people do what they got to do. And then so I sold it like a week later, and I'm like full time. Wow. So,
very good.
So
congrats,
I hear
man.
the story, but I also know the work that you put in and the value that you put in to, like you said, you were moderating already. Was it the beta community? You were moderating that, right? And
yes.
You also had your own community that was growing leaps and bounds, and people working on your behalf inside of the community. We're going to talk about the details of building community, but you already said it. The value that you were giving people made room for you in that space to where people were beginning to follow you, taking your advice, working, and they were seeing some progression because they were listening to the information you were giving. But that was, I say a long time. It really wasn't. It was a short time.
It seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Seems like a long time ago.
It feels like we've been friends forever, but you think about it, it's been about 2 years. For those of us that caught at the very beginning, Strick and Brant, who I caught at the very beginning of my Ecamm life, I think like April or May makes like 2 years. It's kind of crazy, but it seems like it's been forever.
I think Doc can contest to this since we're both ex-military. It's kind of like being in the military, right? You have these, you learn how to make quick friends, because you're only going to be there for a little bit of time. But that's kind of why the Ecamm, and also the situation of the pandemic and all those other things, it just forced a lot more upon us, and it made deeper relationships.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool.
Felicia too.
So, I mean, I don't want to go down a list. but there's
it'd
some
be a
people-
long list.
It would be a very long list. But there were some people that started with us, and now that everybody's on, I got to talk about Big Rich. You know, Rich was there with us from the beginning. He was actually in the first 2 episodes of the stream show. He is a part of the Let's Get Live community and still doing stuff. But that community has just grown. People like Kurt Nugent that was a part of it that's doing some amazing things. I already talked about Alicia Way and our connection inside of the Let's Get Live, because that he actually was the one that kind of presented me to everyone in those long streams. We haven't did a 5-hour stream because everybody's so big time now in a while. But I know it's going to happen again. We were going to do it over the holidays. Tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
We were going to do it over the holidays, and it didn't work out. But I am sure the 5-hour live stream is going to happen, because somebody's going to need, you know, some watch hours, and they're going to pull it all together again.
You know what's so funny when you say that, Strick, is I remember like Rob was like, hey, let's do something cool. Let's invite a bunch of creators over on my channel. So it was like me, Brant, Diana, Kurt, Linwell, or something, and Elicio, something like that. Rob had no idea. Rob was like, I got to pee, guys.
Right. You take a break. Everybody's
We were
just
like
talking.
2 hours. Oh my God, it was so funny.
To
It was
get
so
Doc
funny.
and Diana on a stream together, Rob, listen, like they wait on the other person to take a breath, and then the other person starts. So if Diana's talking, Doc just waits.
Yo,
She's finished. Well,
you
you're
want to hear
right, Diana.
crazy?
Then he talks for
Next,
the 2 minutes.
Strick, you don't know, man. You got to add Luis to that mix. When we were in Albany and us hanging out in my room, Diana, Luis, and I, we were like just going at it, talking about work and creating and stuff for like, I want to say about 5 hours. And it was like,
Wow.
we all need to eat. So we went and got a pizza, came back and kept going. So it's that, you know what it is? That's when you know you love what you're doing. Straight up, right? Like there's been, like I know Brant's a gamer, so he's been there before. Like there's certain games when you get in there. I know when COD until they got to like 4, we would just play for hours on end without even thinking, because it was fun and you in your little headset, you know, enemy recon playing right above us. You know, we're just having a good time setting up. The time just goes, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it is. When you're around your people, it's like being at the barbecue.
I told somebody the other day that I'm closer to my Ecamm friends and the streaming friends than I am in, you know, people around me here, because I'm in a small
Meat space.
Little Rock is a small rural town. I mean, it's not very progressive. There's not, so when I'm the one that I tried to start an internet television station here in 2006, and everybody told me YouTube was going to fail. So that tells you where I live. So having people that can, we've got Ash in England. I had a live stream the other night with a guy from the Philippines, a guy from Singapore, and Graham from Canada. So you're able to find all these people through this technology that are like-minded, and it to me, and people say this, you can't connect over, you can't work from home, and you can't connect like you can in real life. I disagree 100%.
I disagree 100%
with you
too.
guys.
Yeah.
As I am anybody that I work with on a daily basis, right?
Those are people who don't connect with real people in meat space, and so they have the wrong understanding of what true connection is.
And that's why I'm big on the metaverse. I mean, people can connect through these technologies.
You guys, if you're in the community now, you might see my buddy Patrice pop up now. She and I have been friends in like the internet for over 20 years. We've met in meat space like 3 times, but and she's from Germany. You know what I'm saying? But like would fly all the way to San Francisco to come to meet us all at Macworld. I did a podcast with British Tech Network for 15 years, bro. Like just off the Skype. So I don't get it. Like people just talk out the side of their neck.
But so you never met Katie. You never met any of these Ken or Glenn or anybody in real life. But when you did your first
I actually
event,
did meet Ken and Glenn in real life. It's funny. I forgot about it. I met them in 2012 at Macworld. I interviewed them for TUAW. So
when
I found the business card, bro. It was funny.
Wow. But when you went to the first real time event, there was no awkwardness. You just took off like it was another day, right? I mean, there wasn't
Yeah. Man, Brandon, it's so funny you say that. The funniest thing happened. when I get to the my hotel room in Albany, Diana got in about 20 minutes before me. Patrice lives in Austria now, Keely. She's actually from Germany, Koblenz, if you want to be absolutely correct about it. I got the
So that's Keely's with the Discord for creators. This is her YouTube channel name. I get it now.
Got it. Yeah. I was trying to figure that out too.
So it was funny. Diana and I were working and trying to make sure we got the stream set up and getting all the parts and stuff we need, running back and forth to Best Buy and Apple Store. And we were together for about 6 hours before we realized we never had the, hey, good to see you moment. We just went straight to work. And we were like, oh, shit. I'm sorry. We were like, oh, crap. And
you can cuss.
You know, I said that because she didn't say that. So we went and got a pizza, and we actually had a chance to, like, sit down and, like, catch up. But it's just internet fam. It was just like if I walked in the house and see my other fam sup and just keep working. You know, it's kind of funny.
That being said,
I would say the best thing that ever came out of all of this, and I'm just going to put Doc on the spot. The best thing out of all this for the last 2 years, from 2020 to today, is all the new words I've learned from Doc.
Okay.
You know, I've learned so many new words. I embiggen stuff every day. Embiggen. I used to have a list here. I don't have anymore. I had a dictionary that I was keeping up in like 2020 of all the Docisms. I just love the words. But then they make it into my normal conversations, and people look at me like, what do you mean embiggen? You know,
what's embiggen?
When you make it bigger, you embiggen
it. Right.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed.
So as we talk about community, let's, this is always good. We can actually do this for a very long time. But one of the parts of the show, of the stream show, is that we want to help streamers succeed. So we want to give them some things that they can kind of walk away from today, more than us catching up, because we could do this for a very long time. I mean, I have stories. Brant has stories. We could talk about Rob. We could talk about Doc. I love it. But I want, Rob and Doc, I want you guys to help us out today, because both of you guys are building community. That's part of, as you're building content, but that's part of your profession as well, building communities. Now, that being said, this particular stream today is evident of the communities that you've built. For us to be able to have some of these stories and talk about how you've influenced us. But I want to start with you, Rob. Like, when people are trying to build community, how should they think first, like a first step to, okay, whether it's a platform or whether it's a email list, how should they start with thinking about what their community should be?
Man, it's a big question, Strick. So when it comes to community, I think if you're a content creator, you need to start thinking of community. I mean, you just need to look around. There are a ton of platforms out there that are just being built strictly for building community. You know, there's Slack, there's all of these platforms, and that's not because, it's just by chance or coincidence. It's because it is the next thing that people are finding that they need for their business, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whether you represent a brand like me and Doc, community is very important. I think I heard it before. Somebody said, like, your community is your moat, right? To your castle. It'll guard you from your competitors, right? Like all of the different platforms, all of the different services. You've got guys that will teach you how to use Ecamm, guys that will teach you how to or do graphic design or website design for you, or whatever your business is. There's going to be competitors out there. The one of the main key things that people will choose you over somebody else is the connection to you or your brand, right? And so community is a big part of that. So, first thing you got to do is you got to be curious. You got to stay curious about who your audience is. You got to you just got to be curious. And sometimes that's natural. Sometimes it's, you got to try a little harder than most, but you got to be curious about people and, what's their pain points. You got to be curious about them. And the other thing is that you got to care about the people that you're serving. It's just natural. Like you have to. If you're building a community to be the person, the star of your show, the star of your channel or your business, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard because people are. Your audience is also self-centric. It's just human nature, right? They're self-centric. And so they're going to come to your community looking to see how you're going to serve them. What's the benefit of them being there? And so Doc does this very well for his community, for Ecamm. People there, they're getting so much benefit. They're getting more than probably what they're giving, right? And so it's very important. So I think those two things to start off, if you're building a community, the platforms, there's so many different platforms out there. That's a huge conversation, but just the mindset of building a community. Don't build it to make, an extension or, like replace your email list. Don't do that, right? Don't do that. Build it, ask questions, and then be a connector, which I think is the next thing after, being curious.
Rob, I like practical illustrations, and one of your illustrations was think about it as a moat to your castle. Could you break that down for me just a little bit more?
Yeah. I think it's so your community will guard you. Like your community, if you guys go into any of the really well-established communities out there, there's people in that community that may not be super happy with the brand. Maybe they came to the brand, to the community to complain about the brand. Like, hey guys, I tried this platform, didn't work. I don't know why it's worth it. I'm thinking of canceling. And a good community will have the community members like swoop in. Happens all the time, I'm sure. In the Ecamm, like they'll swoop in before the brand reps even get there and say, no, like what's going on? What are you trying? Did you try this? Did you try this? Maybe you should consider doing this instead. It's working really well for me. And so they'll protect you in that way. So that's just one instance. When people are choosing, right? People are choosing a brand, a tool, a platform, a service. They want to connect. They want to be able to say, hey guys, use Ecamm. I know Doc there. Like, here's this thing, right? Use these guys. I know them, right? In a world where everything's fast paced, everything's AI, everything's automated. I think when a brand slows down a bit and makes those personal connections with their users, their community, then it goes a long way. And so that's sort of the moat that you're building.
I like it. And I know, Doc, that you're biting at the chops to kind of get into this conversation about community. You have a vast amount of experience in this. We're talking first steps for someone wanting to, and I want to say this out of Rob. When you think moat to castle, it's kind of like the castle where the money is. It's kind of like where the king is, where the money is. And I like the fact that it's a different way of thinking about community that I've learned recently. But Doc, I want you to go. Someone is thinking about this. How should they get started, or how should they be thinking about it?
First thing I wanted to do was talk about Rob's illustration and bring up Nephew's illustration. Yo, Nephew nailed it, bro.
That's so good.
Zay said, awesome. Yo, look, I'm gonna make Uncle Doc look like the Simpsons. So I just wanted to give the young Balasabas, give Zay some props because
thanks, brother.
I mean, it's fire. It's absolutely fire. If I had to start all over, a couple things I learned. Like in the beginning, I made my Facebook page and like nobody was there. I was kind of, just had it there to have it. And then I also built my Discord back then too. Well, I didn't build it. I opened it. I opened the box and put it back on the floor, And then Facebook grew. And then I just started to realize that it's not the best place to build a community. So I got back into wanting to build my Discord. And then Keely was like, Keely does this thing right here. I know something about that. And I was like, hush your mouth. What you talking about? She's like, look, let me show you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you look at my Discord right now. It's gorgeous. It's like a palatial mansion. It's absolutely beautiful. So one of the things I would say, yes, having a good platform does help. Discord is dope because it's basically free. Your members will help you bless the place. So my community members bought all the server boosts to make it so that it's as fancy as it is right now. And two things that matter. I was telling somebody this the other day. I got the Final Cut community like sliding into the Ecamm community now. So me and the Final Cut bros, right? I'm in a community with all of the top Final Cut creators, and my boy was doing a stream and he was like, "Oh, all these bots, what's going on?" And I was like, "Man, the minute you have more than 5 people on your stream, you need to pick a mod." And he was like, "What? I didn't know that." And so I had Lemuel, Alicio, Kabucha, Rob in the very beginning, and then added Keely and Mr. Camera Junkie later, and that helps because when I'm busy talking and I'll get on a rant or a soapbox, they can talk to people. So when someone like Hannity shows up, she's not just I'm here lurking in the corner. She's like, "Hey guys," and everybody's like, "Yo, what's up, girl? What's up?" Like, they immediately put the arm around her. In Hawaii, we say "honey, honey." We go, each side of the cheek, and next thing you know, hey, she feels right at home. She kick her shoes off, come right back and hang out. When you do that to people, because you're coming from a space of just being like that anyway, it's what it is. And Strick, you and Brant both living in the South. There's one auntie that's on the block that's everybody's auntie, but she's only like blood to like a couple of kids. But like the entire block, oh, we're gonna go to Auntie Diana's house, right? Because that's Diana would definitely be that auntie, right? So
Right.
that's what you do. I guess because I had that as a kid in the hood, because that auntie was my actual blood auntie, I think I just learned it as a thing. Yes, tita. We say tita in Hawaii, but it's tita. Yeah.
Tita. Yeah.
Yeah, in Hawaii we say tita, but yes, it's tita for us Latinos. But yes, that's the thing. And I guess because I learned it from them, or like the ice cream man or whatever, you have
Candy
to
lady
just
in
do
the
that.
neighborhood.
Yes, you have to do that, right? You just have to do that. And I think also, Strick, you also know that when we run radio, you have to talk to that person on the phone like they're in the room with you. You have people that will call and talk to you for an hour because you by yourself in the box, especially night shift, and you would just talk. You have friends that you just talk to, right? And then one day you see them at the Costco, and they're like, "Oh man, it's good to finally meet you in person. We've been talking for 2-3 years on the phone." Because they work night shift, they security, you got the radio, you just pressing carts and commercials. And I don't know, it's just you have to be willing to be vulnerable to put it out there, and the community will take care of you. Like Rob said, they will protect you.
That is
I also
so
like
true.
to think about, I used to do broadcast TV and it was so one way. We didn't have this technology, and I think that some people forget. I always think about Deadpool, right? The big thing with Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall is talking to you, the person out there. You're in with us. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't do enough with, especially broadcasters that are trying to get into this space, or brands or big brands, is you're having to break that fourth wall, and then you have to let those people in. And that's the difference between web media and TV media. And I think if people could just get that basic part down, I think that would help a lot too.
It's funny, all of the old guys, they should just remember the days of us on bulletin boards. And I was joking, mentioned ICQ, but AO rooms and all of that stuff. Like, this all would have been better if everybody didn't let the media freak them out over, like, oh, in the chat room, someone's going to come and snatch you. It's like, you're in the computer. They can't come and snatch you.
Right.
Right.
That turned a lot of people off talking to people online. And it's also funny. Any of us, when we was in our, late 20s or 30s, if you say, I'm going to go do some online dating, you'd look like that dude's weird. Now it's normal.
What's wrong with that guy?
Straight up normal.
When Twitter first came out, I used to go speak at like Chamber of Commerce's about Twitter, and everybody needed to be, this is the next big thing. And a lot of people would laugh, but it was the old dudes that got it right off the bat. And I was like, it's no different than going to the coffee shop in the morning. It's no different than, shaking hands with your, they just got it. Even the older generation even got it earlier. Like, oh, I get this. I just need to reach out and speak to people, and I think they understood a little bit easier. And I think there is a challenge, I think, with a new generation of having to be, not broadcast all the time, trying to be the Mr. Beast or whatever, is try to, you got to listen, you got to learn, you got to reach out. And I do, like Doc said, the first stream I did without commentators or with people to help me, I was at my new job, and they were like, one of my IT guys was like, I'm closing comments down. There's all this spam. And I was like, no, it's fine. Just go in there and comment. So I learned now I need to have those people with me, because then you're working in a corporation, they're like freaking out because something's happening. But You know,
And that's funny,
it just
right?
happens.
Again, protecting the brand as opposed to opening the door and give everybody the hug, right? The one thing that
Right.
was funny about that auntie in the hood, nobody robbed her house because
Right.
the whole hood was coming
Everybody.
after you, right? So why so many brands? Brant, you just said everything, bro. So many brands are like, oh, we can't open the comments because somebody's gonna say something hateful about you. If they saying something hateful about you, they saying it anyway. So why not address it then and there? And that was all the way back in Twitter. There were the brands that would address any, things people would have, and their customer service became known for going Twitter, talk to customer service, they'll take care of you. And
I was
so it's
a-
funny
the-
how many like that.
I spoke at an event I spoke at a thing we call it Ad Federation here. I was speaking about Twitter, and two guys in the back were taking notes. My wife was like, they're taking notes, and they invited me to speak at their company. It was a little company called Alltel, one of the biggest cell phone companies at the time. And I was talking about Twitter and everything, and there's probably 20, 30 people in there, and there was 10 old heads in the back that were laughing at me, literally laughing out loud. And I got so mad. I was like, all right, I'll tell you what. I researched I researched them on the internet, and I basically was able to show them on Twitter at the time, and customer service sucks. Alltel sucks. You suck. And they were like, that was on a Friday. That Sunday, there was a 3-page article in the newspaper about how Alltel was shifting to social media. I was like, because exactly what Doc said. If you don't say it about yourself, someone's going to say it for you. And it's probably not what you want them to say. So get out ahead of it and be honest. You don't have to.
The best thing a brand could ask is, why do we suck and how can we fix it? Period.
Exactly.
Simple as
I
that.
like that. Let's do this. One of the things that I've learned with doing live streams, and reason why live streams work better than recorded video played live, is because you can't interact with the community or the people that are watching you. So Hannity has been in the comments. So thankful that you're here with us today. Elaine, good to see you with us today as well. Michelle, I almost missed you today. Didn't know you were coming, but you are here. Thank you so very much for coming through. And, of course, we got some of our West Coast people in. James, if I hadn't shouted you out already, definitely want to do that. And I think I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name because I want to call it Fusion Marketing, but Doc is going to
That's
correct
Jim.
me with the right. Okay,
It's Jim.
Jim.
That's
Miss
Jim.
Felicia.
What's up, Jim?
Keely has been in the comments, and I don't know if I know Brock, but big shouts out to you, Brock, for hanging out with us today. And there's so many people that are a part of our community that are listening today. And as we talk about, I really think, Doc, Rob, Brant, that this is the next phase for a creator to have some type of membership group. And I like the fact that now we're understanding how Facebook could change its name to Meta, change its complete setup of how it wants to reach people, and groups fall, profiles fall, fan pages fall as far as interaction. Instagram could say, hey, we want to do something different tomorrow, and all the work you put into building your Instagram, it falls as far as engagement. Same thing with TikTok, same thing with YouTube. But if you have a membership group, just like your email list, Rob has already said that your email list, you should keep that. But building a group, if I have a group, Doc and Rob, if I have a group, how many people is too small to start?
Wait, hold up, Strick. Why do I even have a membership group, Harlan Strickland Merriweather III?
Let's go there. That's a very good question.
No,
I love this.
Hash your mouth, my man. Hash your mouth. Why do I even have a membership group, Strick?
Because, us having an opportunity. So
No,
I spend a lot of-
stop.
I'm gonna
Just
explain.
go ahead
I
and
spend
tell
a
the
lot
truth,
of time-
'cause you yelled at me, and it's like, I'm gonna stop being your friend if you don't do this in the next day. You held me like Darth Vader, and I was in the air going, okay, Strick, okay. And then,
it was important, and I think it's important for content creators to,
thank
you're right,
you.
to know why because I was gaining a lot of information from Doc. So being a patron, I mean, he wasn't charging me for anything. He was just showing up, and I'm learning all this stuff. I mean, I wish I could show you all the cameras and gears and all this stuff I have in here that I didn't have 2 years ago. All the money I spent. I have a M1 Mac Mini in here, and I have a MacBook Pro, and I'm not talking about the luxury items. I'm telling you some of the things that I had to do to be a professional in this that I got from Doc. And then Brant would tell me how to actually do it and hook it all up. But, Doc was leading the way with this is what you
But you
need
did
to
it,
do.
man. He honestly, people Strick pulled me over to the side and was like, "Look, fam, we're gonna talk after the stream." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna sit right there." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And I got scolded by my little brother. He was like, "Man, you put in a lot of work. You're gonna end up running out of time and space. You got to be able to, show some value to your thing. So just open the door, and then you'll see everybody is just waiting for you." And I was like, because I had feelings about it. I have feelings about not wanting to be like those creators that's always like talking about, I could tell you the answer, but you got to look into my course. I want to hit them because everything in your course you got from YouTube. So just tell them where it's at. People will still want to hear your input. So it doesn't matter if it's in your course. Tell them the answer because they're here for the answer right now. And if you keep giving them the answers, they'll still take your course. They're not going to not take your course and not come through. Strick proved that. Strick proved that 100%, right? So I just didn't want to be one of those creators, so I was super anti, being like that. I think Rob was the same way. Rob was like, I don't even know how I feel about turning on memberships because, I get paid to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it is what it is. Like, in order to be a good parent, you have to get some sleep and you have to feed yourself, right? I'm telling 3 people with kids. I ain't gotten it. But you can't. In the plane, they tell you, put the mask on yourself first, then put the mask on them children, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
as a creator, I couldn't continue forever as a finite amount of info if I wasn't setting myself up in a position to allow me to take the time to go refill said info with the latest and the greatest and the new and whatever, and then back that up to backfill, right? So Strick and I had just got finished talking to Linwell about don't be afraid to give it all away because a tree is not afraid to give them fruits. And then at the same token, a tree need that water though and some sun. So Strick was like, Strick was like, get you some sun. And I turned on my membership, and I swear to you, the next day, like 80-something folks had signed up. Is
So
that
I think
crazy?
that was the first step. So the first step.
That was the first step.
The first step Doc took was buy me a coffee. All right. And
Correct.
setting up a membership where people can come in off the stream and actually talk inside of a group. And now you've changed that to actually doing Discord. Is
I have
Discord your
Discord,
membership?
and I found this thing called Uscreen. This dude I know work over there, so and it's so random because Buy Me a Coffee started having problems with Stripe and PayPal.
I did not
and it
like
started
that,
tripping.
brother. I did not like
Oh
that.
my goodness. It started tripping, and I had literally like a half an hour before the S hit the fan, I had just started moving everything over to Uscreen. I was going to say Ustream. That's really old. That's just
really
TV. But I just got my Uscreen thing set up. I was building it, and then I'm listening to Rob and Daniel, and I'm trying to like put together everything, and it was like, okay, this looks ugly, but I got to turn it on because Buy Me a Coffee started tripping. Like, everybody was saying, oh, people are getting kicked out. Dinah was losing folks. Kurt was losing folks. And I think Buy Me a Coffee just got too big, and they don't have funding yet, so they just ran out of resources. So, see what I mean? If you don't let your people cover you, you can run out of resources. It happens to
They
us.
did not have
It
a good community. They started a community, but it wasn't. It's not where it needs to be.
I think one of the things that you all said here, I think we've all done this, especially in this community, because I know we've talked to Doc and I've talked to Strick a lot, is we all have a sense of imposter syndrome, and we all talk about it. You can watch all the YouTube videos about it. You can say you don't have it, but when it comes down to opening your membership or charging or asking for money, it puts you on the hook, right? And it's free. Hey, if I messed up, it's free. And so it's hard sometimes to make that next leap. And so having these community people, like we've taught with Doc, we've talked to a Strick, we've taught, I was the number one person hitting Strick every day. We got to charge, you got to charge, you got to charge, and then he'll turn around and back to me and go, man, I was getting all these phone calls, people wanting me to do coaching, and I didn't want to do it. I actually have a clip from Say Anything that I was going to post on YouTube. It's a John Cusack. If you watch Say Anything, he talks about, I don't want to sell nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I want to sell nothing bought or sold. And that was kind of my mindset. And then, he's calling me, telling me, you got to do it. And I did it. Within 2 days, someone booked my course, and I charged more than I would have because I had a price in my head that I felt like that I was going to do. And I asked the community of friends and in Rob's group, in the Dream Stream group, and Doc hit me back like, no, you got to charge more. And so I thought about that, and I found a way, I added a little bit more. There's no way I thought it was going to happen. And it was only a day or 2 days later, the guy paid the price and he's happy, he wants to do more. So sometimes the community can help each other because we're not all experts. We all think we're expert. That's the difference between some of us that are authentic. Some of those YouTubers you don't want to be like that are always the expert, right? I know everything. We're all humble enough to be like, I don't know if I know everything. So you need somebody to pick you up by the bootstraps, right. By your ear and go, look, Doc.
That was a good Mr. T, Brant. That's why I laughed because he was like,
Mr. T. I pity the fool. I pity the fool who doesn't trust themselves.
Hey, Brant, let me say this really quick. I want to apologize to our two guests, Doc and Rob, because I told them, hey, guys, at 5:50, 55 after, we're going to be wrapping this up.
Oh, yeah, we're way past that.
And
it's all good. It's all good.
That I can wrap this up in that amount of time. And I'm thinking about the content creators that are watching this, everybody that's watching this, like my heart goes out to you because we're going to continue to pull information out of Rob and out of Doc that's going to help you today. So if you can lock in for just a few more minutes with this.
Yes, I got a serious question. You guys can tell me. I want to know how you guys deal with it because I did the two buddies. I've done the vidIQ. I'm looking at the numbers in my own personal channel, even the stream show. I look at the numbers all the time. How do you get past, like my personal channel, I'm at 80 views, 80 subscribers. I feel like there's no way in hell I'm going to get my 4,000 hours. How do you, let's start with Doc, because I know I've kind of watched your journey, but how do you get through those points where you just like, I made 15 videos this last, week, but I don't know, it just seems like it's this mountain I can't climb.
I'm going to tell you what Doc's going to say, but I'm going to let him say it.
Go ahead and say it first because you're probably right. What is it?
Okay.
Come on. My community knows what it is. What's the analgesic by community?
What Doc is going to say, and it may be different, but I'm going to take a stab at what Doc would say. Do you have 100 videos? Am I close, Doc? It's going to be the content first. Am I right, Doc? Like, how many videos do you have? How much content do you have out there? Then I'm going to let you go, Doc. What do you think?
Actually, that's part of the answer. That would be my second answer. But my first answer is purpose. Purpose is analgesic. My analytics are named Hannity, Jill, Felicia, Keely, Brock, Strick, Rob, Michelle, Dave. That's my analytics. I do not open that page. It's none of my damn business. I don't look at it because it will make you feel some type of way. It just will. So what you have to do is if I come on the stream and I go and do one of my little weird rants or whatever and Brock gets something out of it, I'm like, okay, I only needed one. Because then you know what that one person do? And I learned this all the way back from the club, right? I'll take one person that's having a bad time. I could just tell they friends done dragged them out there. They made Rob come. Rob's like, I'm not even the club dude. I'd rather be at home playing, like Nintendo with my boy. Why am I out here? I'm going to find a way to make Rob have a good time. And Rob going to be like, yo, you guys know me. I don't even go to the club. Yeah, man, I went to the stream show spot, and Doc and Strick was in there. They was throwing it down. They just go to the door, see my man Brant. He'll be the bartender. Just like go and see him. Let him know you the designated driver. He'll hit you with soft drinks. But man, Strick and Doc, man, they just make you feel at home. Man, I don't even like the club, but I'm going again next time I get the day off. And next thing you know, I'm doing shows for 10,000 people, right? But your even the community, our country started with a handful of folk, right? Okay, technically Native Americans were here already, but just follow the story for this purpose. The country started with a handful of folk, and then it became 386 million, but it started with a handful of folk. So you just have to ignore that mess. You can't pay it no mind, whatever. And the other thing, which is funny, all my contemporaries say you have to be willing to go at this hardcore for 2 years and just don't trip, don't stop, don't whatever. June 6th will be my actual 2 years of nose to the grindstone, and I'm tripping at where I am thus far.
Dude, I remember when you had 2,000 subscribers.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep.
I mean, of course, was it over 10 now?
Oh, I'll be 13 and 50 people.
Come on.
Nice.
So I do believe, so if we talk about a lot of people, and I want to get back to this membership, but Brant, I do know that because of the pandemic, there was another wave of people coming to YouTube for entertainment and content. And people that were ahead of that wave, building on YouTube, did grow faster than most because of the pandemic. But we're on the other side of that wave. So now they're getting into it.
Some of them would disappear.
People went back to work, and a lot of
Right.
people disappeared. Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
But
no,
people
I mean
did
some of those
benefit.
creators would disappear because they were in the shorty. They wasn't in for the long game, right? So some of those guys are going to disappear, and that's the part. Oh, you know what, man? I wish, Brant. I don't want to make you watch the whole thing, but Paul put the what you call them in there, the timestamps. Go in my stream yesterday and find about slide 7, right? Where I talk about, would you take, I didn't remember how to say this. Would you take basically $10 a week with a 10%, increase, and I only ask you to work 30 minutes a day with a slight improvement, or would you take $5,000 a month? You don't have to get any better. You still got to do that 30 minutes a day. But I'm going to pay you that $5,000 a month no matter what. Which of those two deals would you take, A or B?
A.
Right, because at month 16, the B group person will be sitting at 80,000 based off of 5,000 a month, but at month 16, the A person to be at 86,000. At month 24, B person to be at 120,000, A person to be at $2,217.27 because compound effect. This is why you got to ignore. You still at week 3, 4, whatever in the
Right.
the compound.
I also
scheme.
think, and one of the reasons I asked that question too is also because I know we all know math and we all know analytics and we all can think that way. But
I don't do math that well.
But it does get
Strick.
I'm
it
messing with you,
hurts.
Doc. Go ahead, Brant.
It hurts with motivation. So I kind of finally decided I've been on a weight loss journey since November, and I lost 10 pounds. Everything was great, doing good, and then I just hit this plateau, right? And I know that the number on the scale said I'm not doing good, but the notches on my belt say I do, and the comments that I had from people do. And so with the streaming stuff, I did notice I got my job because of the stream show and because of Vlogmas. I had all these things to point to that say, yeah, I am a content creator. Go look at it. I have it. The first day on my job, I was able to do a recording to tape with Ecamm with my executive director, and he was like, wow, that usually took everybody 2 weeks to edit. I was like, whatever, we can do that. We'll just do it live to tape. I mean, let me show you this little thing called Ecamm. So yes, that everything you do is working towards a bigger goal. So, but sometimes it does get a little overwhelming, because of too many. You watch. I watch all of Rob's videos, I watch Doc videos, I watch shorts, doing Instagram. I got to have a membership. I got to have a group. I got, and so sometimes you just got to woosah, right, and to be like,
oh yeah, and that's the first thing you have to do is remember. all these things that you gotta have, right? Does it immediately impact your purpose? If it doesn't, then you don't gotta have it. You want to have it when you get round to it. That's what you call a round to it, right? You and also remember, if you know you're brand new and you got other things on your plate, then you have to do these one at a time. Right. And so for me right now, like everyone's still talking about gear and doing all this other stuff or membership and all that stuff. You know what? I'd be focusing on how to tell better stories. I'd be focusing on how to become a better interviewer. Right. Strick is a fantastic interviewer. And I wish more people in our community would focus on how to be better interviewers and stop having these things worrying about like, oh, I did my interview show and my overlays. Man, the heck with your overlays. Put you and the person side by side. Learn how to ask good questions. I saw your show. Your questions was faded. Stop. Like if you ask a question and you start answering the question,
you can't drop stuff like that and keep talking. I'm telling you, that is like people need to understand, like that we are here, Brant and I here, just doing the show, the panel. The time you guys are taking to do this to help people. And sometimes one of the things that people miss out on is the skill set that it takes to be impactful, to be entertaining, and also inform people. And Doc just said it. Sometimes we can go and try to do what we see the last creator do or the next creator, like what are they doing? And I think the topic is great today. I want people to understand at the end of the day, as you're building your email list, you need to be building and thinking about building a membership. Like you need to do that for your long term. It is leading you to your castle, as Rob said. I think that's the long term play. I really do think that's a long term. It's not the short term play. It is the long term play where you can have a platform that regardless of what anybody else, regardless of what YouTube does, regardless of what Facebook is going to do, Meta is going to do, Instagram, TikTok, like I'm on all the platforms right now that I can think of. And I got 7 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute videos going. And I understand that rat race. But if you had an opportunity to build, and my question was building like, you know, a membership where you got 5 people. Guys, if you understand starting small on your own platform with your own people and grow that over time, who cares how many people watch your YouTube? Who cares how many views you get on Instagram? You can go impact 5 people, and if you do something just like Doc was helping me, if Doc did something to help me and gave me value, guess what I'm going to say? Hey, you need to go check out this Doc guy. This is where I'm getting this information from. This is how you can do it. Or forget all that. Join the membership with me. Come on a team.
Just had this conversation
exactly
yesterday.
What I hear, and you'll be better off as well. Like that, those are because we can get caught up in the views. And YouTubers will tell you they're not getting paid the money you think they're getting paid from views. How else can you help people? And I'm thinking, even if you have a free membership because you're just starting, it is something that you can build to, because if you got 5 and you tell those 5 people to bring somebody with you, you can have 10. Everybody don't bring one, you got 8. Guess what? 8, I could do math, is a whole lot bigger than 5, and you keep multiplying. And if you look back, if you spend time building a membership group, the 2 years that you would try to build a YouTube channel, build a membership group, it'll be more financially beneficial to you than what you have. And I'm done.
You know what? You know what you just said? It was so important. Back in the day when we first started the club, like when we didn't have no people yet, we used to tell people, if you bring 4 people with you, you get in free.
There you go. Because we need people
and people did it. And we went from like 10 people at a party to, again, we had the biggest parties in the state. And so you're right. And I don't think people even think about that. Hey, you can come to my membership for free. I'm going to let 10 folks in free, but every one of you 10 got to go get 2 other people to come with you. You go from 10 to 30 real quick, and now you're square, right? Or you said, okay, it's $10 a month to get in, but only for the first 20 people, right? After that, it's going to go up to the 30 or whatever you got it, right? So I did mine for a year, and then I switched it. And so now it's $38 a month or $100 a month.
I love it, brother. I love it. And
Smart.
he didn't want to
Awesome.
do a membership. Come on, man.
No, it's your fault.
love it.
It's your fault.
So almost go ahead, Brant. I knew you was gonna say something.
Well, I just had a question for Rob, and I know that he probably is a lot more like I am, and I see, you hear niche down, don't do this, you hear all the stuff you're not supposed to do. But I noticed you're kind of more like I am. You're always trying new things, and so do you feel like that is helpful, or is it just a process that you feel like you're doing for yourself? Do you see?
But he's doing new
Pluses or
things in a
minuses?
petri dish of creator, though. So
That's
it's
right.
a little different.
Yeah. Doc
still
answered
a
it right
niche.
there. Yeah, I think
Sorry.
what I keep in mind is the audience. So the audience is interested in tutorials, my vlogs. I'm not doing like family or cooking vlogs. It's creator vlogs. It's just like more behind the scenes stuff. The live streams are creator news. So the audience, even though the format is different and slightly different topics, it's my audience. I'm understanding my audience is a creator. So yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's a bit of the process. I also get bored pretty easily. So I can't be doing tutorials all the time. Yeah. So yeah. But good question. If you're gonna be doing cooking, and then you're going to do yoga, and then tech tutorials, then you should probably have different channels for that. But
Right.
So
right.
here's a
The other
good
thing
piece of advice too, because I just want to make sure we get a plug in from your man's over here. Uscreen just now added that if somebody brings somebody to your membership, they can get affiliate revenue off of that. So
go.
you
Yeah.
can even set it up from the gate. When you first start Uscreen, the small package is $39. It seems like a lot, but no, that's like 2 people in your membership, maybe 3 if you're going for $10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 4 if you're going for $10. I can't add.
Oh.
But still yet, like once you got that 4, now your screen is covered. Everybody after that is that's part of your operating expense now, right? So do that, set up your affiliate, and then gangster, and whatever you do, don't start your membership at $10.
So let me say this really
It was
quick.
really stupid.
Let me say this really quick, guys, if you don't mind. I've said this a couple times already in our show that we're here to help streamers. And Keely's just said, hey, my affiliate programs is going to start this month. Love this advice. Bring one, folks, and you both get 1 month free. It's an idea. And that is the reason, guys, why we're here today. I'm not in the stream because she got it, but I'm glad to be able to throw that up for Keely and what she's doing. And then Miss Jill is just saying, hey, Keely, like she's just speaking to somebody. So Miss Jill, thanks for hanging out with us as well.
Jill.
I get to hang out with Jill next week in Meat Space, yo, and that's gonna be fun because when Jill and I
want
get
videos of
together, when
that.
we were in Boston, oh my goodness, we had so much fun. We were just straight clowning. Like I love Jill. She is family. She is straight family.
That is so
I wanna
cool.
circle
you're
back
go ahead.
Well, I want to circle back around to something Doc said about the interview stuff. And one of the things, and I want to ask Rob and Doc as well in Strick Twos, is a lot of times I feel like people are – stop asking questions.
That's
Some
not
people
you. That's the
are-
name of the book. That's a good book to get into.
Are you a creator? Are you a YouTuber? Are you an Instagrammer? Are you a TikToker? So one of the things I really liked what Doc said about interviewing, I've always said that about editing. You can know how to do Premiere, you can know how to do Final Cut, you can know how to do Canva, but are you really, trying to expand your creativity? Are you really trying to tell a story with editing just because you can push the buttons, So working on your craft overall, this craft that we've all probably worked on. I know I've spent 20 plus years working on the craft of the art of doing these things. Sometimes I feel like people get, well, I got the 4K camera and I got the light Doc said and I got the SM7B, but I'm not getting any, I'm not getting any traction. Well, you got to work on the craft. So what can you guys say? Let's start with Rob there. What can you start about working on craft of being a creator, not just a YouTuber?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. I think right now I consider myself a creator, but I think more and more, I've said this before, I actually was listening to a conversation between MKBHD and Colin and Samir. And I think I'm leaning towards becoming a better content distributor. And I think that's the that's like the game changer with a lot of creators is, yes, you can get all the gear and you can, get all the, fancy things and think about like all the creativity stuff. I think that's important, of course, for your content. But I think to be a successful content creator, if that's the job that you want, like that's your full-time dream is to be a content creator, you have to be a full-time content distributor. And think about what is free, what is on YouTube, what is on the live stream, what's in your membership, right? Like how are you going to be repurposing, into TikTok and vertical videos and Instagram reels and all of that stuff, like LinkedIn. So, there's a fine difference between, different channels, right? So YouTube versus your membership versus your paid streams versus, TikTok. There's, the discovery channels where you get discovered. People that, don't know you, you leverage the platform, to be discovered by new audiences. And then there's the revenue streams, so the revenue channels. So that's where your membership comes in, coaching, all of those things. Those are all revenue channels, right? And so you have to understand the difference, and you have to be aware of like what you're doing right now. Like this right now is a discovery channel. This live stream where, you're being discovered, Brant and Strick are being discovered by new audiences. It's also a community building channel, right? So it could potentially lead into revenue, through coaching and affiliates and all these other things. But right now, primarily, in my opinion, live streams, public live streams, is a discovery channel. And so you have to understand that. So I think that's kind of going back to what, I would rather focus my time in is being a better content distributor. Yes, creator, sort of subline, content creator, but content distributor, I think, is my focus.
Very good. How about you, Doc?
It's funny. I agree with Rob 115.8%, because I'll tell you another thing. Here's another thing that this is going to sound so crazy, but this is life. When someone walks up to you in the street and they say, well, what do you do? And you say, I'm a YouTuber, they look at you like you're crazy. And I think that's part of the reason why creators of a certain age feel like it's not for them, because it just seems weird to call yourself a YouTuber, right? I was once a craftsman. I was once a on-air personality or a TV personality or a disc jockey. Like those have names to it, right? Content entrepreneur sounds good, but even entrepreneur says to me, you broke and you don't know what you're doing. So I stopped using that one too. I am a media company, right? But I like Rob's answer better, content distribution company. And here's why. If you go to write something down, right, you came into the place and you're about to buy an office, right? And on the thing it says, what's your occupation? YouTuber. What? Content creator. What? I'm a content distribution company. Oh, snap. All right, then. That sounds good, right? So media distribution company, content distribution company, both of those are much better terms. Number one, it's easier for the general population to have some understanding because they know what Viacom is, right? They know what Gannett Press is. They know what Penthouse and Playboy are. So, that's a better answer. I like that answer, and I will forevermore use that. But I always said I'm a media business. From years ago, I always said I'm a media business, but I like content distribution better because it's real. That's exactly what we do.
So how do you balance being a business, content distributor, and building a business to have that castle, Rob? Like, we're trying to help people. At the end of the day, as a content creator, you want to get paid for building or distributing content. And if we're talking about memberships, how do you distribute and also make money? How does the membership, where does it land inside of how you're building your business? I guess that's the best way I can ask that question.
Yeah, good question. I think you have to be you still have to be a content creator. If you're a one-person show, then until you get somebody taking care of, all of your editing and content creation, all of those things, you still have to wear multiple hats. I say that because you do have to focus on the distribution, right? The question that comes up is like, hey, I want to build a membership, but I don't know what goes in the membership versus what goes on YouTube. And to an earlier, like you guys were talking earlier, not holding back. I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna do a little like sort of little taste of, little sample of some of my knowledge on YouTube, but then all the good stuff is gonna be in the membership. That doesn't make any sense, right? Because everything is already on YouTube. I think the first thing you need to, if you're going to build a membership, the first thing is you need to understand, why do people sign up for memberships? And I think we already talked about a lot of the reasons here. You want to support your favorite creator, and people want to thank their like Doc Rock. Like, people want to join because they feel thankful and gratitude towards the fact that he's helped them for through so many things. Like learning, somebody learning Ecamm could be a career changer, right? And that a lot of that is free content, and so people naturally, like, they feel like, oh, I don't want to owe somebody. I don't want to owe Doc Rock. Is there a way to support Doc Rock, right? And so that's why he has a really good turnout for his memberships. But you have to understand what people sign up for memberships for. It's for the access to the content creator, right? Access is first, so that's why a lot of memberships have private live streams, private workshops, Q&A, private content, and it's smaller group content, smaller group, workshops. So they want access. Also, the order, right? You could stitch together a bunch of videos on YouTube to learn how to use Ecamm, but if you join a membership, you may get the Aura course. You'll get like the five videos in sequence of like from A to Z of how to start using Ecamm, right? A lot of people have more time than money, right? So they're like, I'll just buy the course. I'll just join the membership, so I know exactly what to do here, right? And then the community. So we already talked a lot about the community. I think Keely, Doc, like, you guys all have fantastic communities. So again, the community, being in like the same place with like-minded people is very important. And so that's why people join memberships. And so now, like, knowing that, how does that fit into your distribution, right? How does that fit into, your YouTube videos, right? How do you get people from that? Because the YouTube videos and all the other things that you're posting publicly, they need to have value, right? They need to have value, and you need to be found on all those platforms. And so now if you understand what those channels are for, then you have a better idea of like, okay, cool. Like, I need to deliver value on YouTube. This is how YouTube works. It's all about watch time. It's all about retention. It's all about like click-through rates and all those things. All right. So now you know the rules of the game on YouTube, but you still have to deliver value. So you have to play within those rules, and then get people over to your membership, because then a membership is different. You can take your time, you can slow things down, you can go real deep, right? And so that's the difference there. So you gotta think about that.
You know what's funny about what you just said, Rob? And then sort of going back to what Brant said a while back ago, there are businesses that when they first start out, they want to be in the mall. Why? Because the mall's the spot, bro. Everybody's there. Like, all the people are there. In the mall, your foot traffic is fantastic, okay? Right? Like, you can get all the people come in, feet's on your carpet, touching all your stuff, picking it up and putting it down, right? But then something happens, the mall like to shake it up, you out, you go back to a small little corner where you set your shop up. You got less foot traffic, but every person that picks up the piece buys it, right? So in 8 hours in the small store, you sell 50 of these. But in 8 hours in the mall, you sell 2. But you got 1,000 people came in the store, but you only sold 2. Which one is better? And I think there's a problem with people in these vanity numbers. You could be that store in the mall. Trust you me, I know the lady that owned the bikini shop next to the Apple store in Ala Moana, which is right before Waikiki, before we built the Apple store in Waikiki. She got a lot of foot traffic because she was next to the Apple store. But she was cantankerous. So she was having a hard time selling. Why? Because she was spending all her time hating on Apple, because our lines would often, cover the front of her store. So she would always complain to the mall and blah, blah, blah. Every time Apple, when an iPhone come out or a new thing come out or whatever, like, they're just always in my way. I don't really appreciate it. I've been in this mall for 30 years, blah, blah, blah. So when it came time to renew, did they renew the Apple store, or did they tell her to get the step in? Wow. She gone, right? The next store came in, And I remember that person walked in. I was starting like, hey, I'm going to be your new neighbors and blah, 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 blah. Is there any thing that I should know or whatever about how the mall works? And this is early before customers come. And we like, man, we do events like every other month or so because we're always introducing new product. When we have those long lines, we go to Starbucks, we buy them coffee, we get them water, whatever. Just find a way to work with us and you'll be fine. If not, I know the mall kind of sent the other lady packing. The new lady would do samples. The new lady would do specials. The new lady would let people come in and take turns resting in the chair. Because when you lined up for the iPhone, you was there for days.
Right.
That lady is still there. She's selling all her little lotions. And, it smell like Hawaii. And her store is busy because she figured out how to work with the traffic, right? Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show, you can't just I can tell you right now, I can send 1 million people to your channel right now, right? Very easily. Are they going to come back the next day? No. Why? Because you're not at that content level yet. Right? The reason why people keep watching Jimmy, because Jimmy keep putting out heaters. Jimmy knows how to create stuff that people want to watch, Mr. Beast. Sorry. But if you don't know how to do that, all the people coming to your joint is like a run on the bank. Man, y'all better study history. 1929. Don't run on the bank, bro, and you ain't ready.
I love it.
Yeah.
Listen, this is some good stuff right here. I've time-stamped both of those. For people to go back so I can go back and get this information because all this is going to be very, very helpful. I have the idea of membership, but I mean, we're helping creators really think about what they're creating and being a businessman or being a business from Doc and being a distributor of content from Rob. This is some good information for us, Brant, to kind of rethink some of the things that we're doing. I am loving the fact that the new wave is short form content because I could, on my phone, I'm getting to be a great editor. And even inside of those platforms, I'm not using any editing. It's 15 seconds and whatever platform it is, I'm dropping it in and putting the captions and the music and I'm gone. And if that's the wave that a particular YouTube with the shorts with Brant has done really good with, or Facebook with the reels that I'm getting a lot of traction with, guess what? You go with that distribution, as Rob would say, as you have that and continue to create content inside the confines of what those platforms will allow you to do, playing their game. I love it.
You could write a course or an ebook about how to launch a show out the gate already monetized.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to do that. You did it. You did it in front of the whole community. And how many people asked you how to do it? Since you did it, you know what I'm saying? Not that much people, they don't ask because people be asking the wrong stuff. People want to know, how can I get another digital switcher so I can switch more cameras? Switch more cameras for what? What show? How about you start asking about how to produce shows? How about you start asking how to do interviews? How about you start asking how to tell stories? You can learn all of the lighting and all of that mess just from watching TV. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to start asking the other questions. So I think you could do a course right now, you and Brant, how to build a show from the gate that comes out the gate already monetized because you've done it.
And give it how to build a show in 7 days or how to build a show in 10 days. Here's what you need. Here's 10 steps and make it free. Make it free.
They did it in 7 days, I think.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, it was about 7 days.
It was under 2 weeks.
Not yeah. Don't make it like a 90-day thing. 10 days.
Step
How do you get it off the ground?
Email wrong and think you have a show.
So a lot of people don't know that the reason why we have this show is because I misread an email. And I thought that the email said something that it didn't say. But when I did position ourselves with an idea.
Hey, dyslexia for the win, fam. Let's go.
Listen, that's right. Do it. It was all yes. It was like yes. Let's do it. So, quick question here. I don't know if you were about to say something, Brant, but I do have a question, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
So Jill is asking a question. She actually wants to know what's the biggest value add for you guys doing this show. what's the biggest value add for you guys doing this show? What do you
I
think,
got a new
Brant?
job. I got a new job.
You can stay right
and-
there. You can really stay right there. His job title is content creator.
Yeah, and I'll take that
a
back.
real job
I give
now.
a little bit of that to Ecamm, and to this show, but I also give it to Doc. I don't know if you remember Vlogmas. We did the thing. You said I'm a creator. And I think I went out my Vlogmas. Yelled out to the world, "I am a creator." You know, it's one of those speak it, make it so kind of things. And I took the job because it had content creator in the title, and nobody really knows what a content creator is. So I can say, "Look, I got a card. It says I'm a content creator." But yeah, that changed. You know, I was able to do my Zoom interview from this studio. Wouldn't have had that if it wouldn't been for this show. And I think one of the things that really, and I'm an entrepreneur. I have kids. I got kids going to college. I mean, I got bills to pay. I've had a startup. I've had my own business. So I get a little obsessed about business, like business plans and money, and, got to make bills paid. And so I probably pushed a little too hard when we started to Strick. And then I had to back off, and I also was a promotions producer at UPN 38. If you don't remember that, that was the station that had the Hughleys and Girlfriends. And
Oh, yeah.
and all I did was cut promos, right? Tonight, UPN 38 on the Hughleys. And I realized, and I told Strick, I said, no matter what we do personally, the stream show is just a big commercial for our brands, our personal brands. Not even, just the stream show. That's a bonus. But we're able to, he says it. It's on my LinkedIn. It's on my resume. When I meet somebody, I say I'm the co-host of a show, Strick and Brant, on YouTube. Nobody looks at the numbers. They go look at it and go, "Man, that's really good. You got a show, and oh my gosh, and it's." In Strick was the number one. Like, it's a white guy and a black guy. Not seeing a lot of that in these times, and we need that, right? So that's helped us a lot, and opened a lot of doors for us. So just doing the thing helps the thing, because you just going through the exercises, going through the motions, learning how to produce the show, communicating with each other, figuring out how we're going to share notes and share profiles and share, scenes. There's just a lot of communication back and forth through us that we've had to develop through this show. So it's really benefited me personally. It's really benefited me a lot.
And we
How about
chat
you,
like
Strick?
little girls during the week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not you. Not lately. You've been so busy with that Kim Scott lady. I'm just getting a little jealous.
I was going to say, I think Kim had a lot to do with that. I seen the Instagram.
There's definitely a lot going on with my wife.
Man, I just say straight.
The boss is blowing up.
You
This is
lucked
blowing
up,
up.
bro. You lucked up good.
I did.
She's awesome.
Thank
Man,
you
the
for
best
saying
thing
that.
ever
She
is
is
Strick. Still to this day, the best thing ever is like when my family seen that video and like the whole living room was leaking because Kim played the song for Karen. I was like, "Yo, come on, son!" I was moonwalking around the house like, "What you got? What you got, players? Come on!" Like that was. Thank you, fam. You made a hero out of your boy.
No problem. So we as you can tell, guys, if you listen to this show, we got a lot of history together. We've done a lot of work together. We are all in community together. I've said this, and I'm in Rob's community. Started in being a part of Doc's community. I mean, we are, how you want to say it? What do you call it? Your disciples, Doc. Our show has come out of what we've learned from the Let's Get Live community. So if people are watching this today, I want to encourage you. Number one, if you're not in community with a group of like-minded people, find people that you can learn from. All right, find those folks. If you're a creator, I got two guys right here that have communities and that you can get into and be a part of and learn some stuff. Brent and I, we're working. Like, we're here every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to give you information, and we'll be starting community soon as well as we begin to grow. We want to be able to do that for you. But in the meantime, we have Rob Balasabas here, who has a group of creators, and he's doing it the right way. I'm part of his community with his company, Ustream, and also the Slack community, like giving all the information out. Rob, do you want to just share about some of that really quick as we begin to end the show?
Yeah. So there's a Facebook group. So find the Facebook group. I'm sure we'll have a link here. And then I've got my private membership. It's just rawbalasabas.uscreen.io. And so again, feel free to share a link, guys. And yeah, we're using Slack for that. So that's a Slack community. There daily. It's just been a really fun group. Finally got to launch it a few weeks ago. So yeah, come join us there.
And that's really, really live. I love what you're doing there. I mean, it's also, Rob, giving people place and community to kind of be all together. And Doc, you've been moving with your community, doing some different things. So can you?
It's done. The renovations are done thanks to Discord for Creators, aka Keely, aka Canadian Whistle Lady, aka Whistles, whatever. She got like 100 nicknames. Like FBI is gonna be looking for her. Yeah, it's fantastic, bruh. I'm just saying, I really, really love it. So you can jump on this docrock.live/Discord to get to that, or follow me on YouTube and come to my shows. We do a lot of mostly trying to get people in the right headspace to be creators, because the skill stuff we can teach, right? But I think even having all the skills and bad talent don't get you nowhere. And then, some people ask me, what do you mean by that? Keyshawn. Like, Keyshawn could have been way better if he was willing to be a team player. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a million other sports people that I can give you that reference, including my boy Pedro Martinez. He was another one. Like, he ain't want to listen. He wanted to be Pedro. Everybody else wanted to be the team. So when you're A-Rod and they say, hey, can you play third base? And you don't say, but I'm not a third baseman. You just go play third base, and then you end up winning more rings. Sometimes you got to do what's necessary. So I just want to be able to teach people that mind stuff as well as the skill stuff, and then, help you create. So, yeah, I mean, thank you guys for doing this. It's fun, and I always love when I get to hang out with Rob. Rob is the best. And
he's cool, man. He's super cool.
Dude, there's so many patterns in this, right? Okay, you got Strick and Brant, both 5 letters, 5 letters. You got Robin Doc in the middle, 3 letters, 3 letters. You got 2 beards on this side. You got, 2 glasses guys, and then 2 regular guys, and then you got 2 bald guys and 2 hair guys. Like, I mean, this is like all kind of patterns popping
Now
off.
wait. We got to stop right here. Stop right now. So if you had the LASIK already, is that why you don't have the glasses?
Yes.
How was that? So I guess it worked because you're awesome.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Absolutely. I can see flies having sex from 2 blocks away.
Oh my God!
There you go.
Why would you even want to see that? But I get it.
It was just a joke.
I get it. So just that last comment, guys. As you're building community, sometimes where we are right now, we're in each other's lives. Brant was actually describing or asking Doc about his last LASIK surgery. Like, we know this stuff because we're in community together. So I want to implore you, if you are a creator, think about how you can join a community, or if you're at a place where you're starting to lead a community, how can you lead, bring value, bring some type of family unit to it, and build people up. And as Rob said earlier in this particular stream, your membership will be your moat leading to your castle. All right. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with us today. If you guys just hold what you got for just 1 second, Brant, I am like overwhelmed, and there Brant is again. So let me do this real quick, Rob. And thank you so very much for being patient with us. So there he is. This has been an awesome show, man. What do you think?
Oh, great show catching up with everybody. I think we haven't really got to talk one-on-one with those guys in a long time because we all got busy, but I think they're doing great stuff, and I think there was some good information out of here. I think for people that want to, and actually I guess there's good information for me and you. I guess we're starting a community soon. I guess.
Man. Like, we got to do it. We got to do
or
it.
A course
together,
right?
Together, or individual groups. I just think starting small as we are growing and finding the right thing. So I have a client that I need to build a community for, and this has me down that road. So what I really wanted to get to was the difference in. So Facebook has some of the best community building things where you can kind of like live stream into and have conversations and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
External to that, people are having a hard time doing the live streaming stuff into the membership. So I'm finding a balance. You may have to partner two things together. So all of that kind of stuff is what I'm working on right now.
Very good, very good. That's the same thing. I'm lucky enough to have a job now where I get to do a lot of my experimenting at work. So, try things at work for a community, and
There you go.
how to use all this technology on that time to learn from that. So, of course, bringing value to my day job as well, because they're not doing that as well, right? I mean, trying to up the game there, but that helps a lot every day. So
That's good.
I think it's a lot of experimenting. It's a lot of knowing that, not everything's going to be a home run. You're going to swing and miss a lot of times. It gets daunting. I'm going to be the first one to tell you that. It gets frustrating. You look at the numbers, they're not growing, but you just got to keep pushing forward. It's kind of like that old saying I tell people a lot of time. It's like eating an elephant, right? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite,
One
at a time. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
So we don't have Kevin Cox with us today. So Kevin, as you're seeing this in a replay, I'm shouting you out, brother, because no one is in the comments telling people to hit the like button. If you actually
There
enjoy
you
this
go.
today, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. We would love for you to know when we are live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You got Brant Collins and DJ Strick, the co-host of the stream show, The Stream Guys. Thank you guys so very much for being here with us. And man, this was a mega stream.
It's a mega stream. All right.
Yes, sir.